My current role is as a National Improvement Advisor for Mental Health Services. So that's about helping NHS boards to support them to deliver some of the key challenges that they're facing right now around efficiency and productivity, around some of the heat targets in mental health and the quality strategy. My first sort of experience of continuous quality improvement was, I suppose, it felt plunged in at the deep end a little bit. There was an awful lot of information to take in, and I had to get my head around what these new tools, techniques and new words that people were using. And I suppose after that initial swamping of information, I began to realise that actually there were some quite sort of key things that I already had brought to the table around that. I first began to really develop my knowledge and my skills in quality improvement by attending quite a few training courses run by lots of different people on a number of different subjects, all within the sort of quality improvement umbrella. So there were training courses. I was lucky to have colleagues who were also at similar points in their journey to me. And so we were able to share ideas and experiences around that, and quite a bit of reading as well. I think probably a pivotal moment for me in applying quality improvement to the problems that services are facing was one of those first projects which we tried to formalise a bit more and structure a little bit more. And I think it was pivotal because when you take a theoretical set of skills and knowledge and an approach and you actually try to apply it in the real setting, it can be a very interesting experience. So applying some of those very tightly controlled tools and techniques to a constantly changing context with lots of different factors feeding into it has been a real challenge. And I enjoy the challenge of identifying what the problems are that that particular service is facing, and then framing the problem in a way that makes people feel empowered to make the changes. There's a lot of different things that have fed into, I suppose, how I've got to where I've got to with my knowledge and skills. But if I had to pick one, it would be a hands-on work with the services. That's the best way to get your head around what really works and what doesn't work. How do I learn best? Interacting with other people. I'm not brilliant at going and locking myself in a room and becoming an expert by using books. I think there is definitely a place for it, particularly around some of the more formal and some of the more detailed approaches that we need to bring to the table. But for me, it's much more about learning from the people who are actually delivering services. What are the things that are most useful to me for quality improvement? Well, I think one is a framework for how to approach problems, which is about identifying, first of all, whether there is dissatisfaction with how things are. If a service isn't ready to change or doesn't see the need to change, then it won't. If there is dissatisfaction, is there a vision for a better future? So do we have an idea that there will be a better way of working? And then thirdly, do they have the ability to make that change as well? So that as an approach is really, really useful actually. I think the scale of the challenges that some of the mental health services are facing in the NHS is huge. I think there are probably a lot of opportunities to provide support to services around their use of data and around how they understand what the problems they are that they're really facing. Because I think a lot of the time we tend to jump to solutions before we have a proper understanding of what the problems really are. And I see my role as a lot around helping to get that understanding of where the issues are and then picking the right tools to address them.